Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie, and today I have a little bonus video for my Destash series, going through even more pinks that I had already set aside to destash. I know that might sound crazy because pink is my favorite color, but maybe because of that I am a little bit more picky with some of them. I'm not really sure, but let's just get into it. We are going to start things off a little differently, where I am just going to show you the box. We're not going to do a time lapse because I just don't want to like lay everything out. It's going to end up on the table anyway, but here, let me just show you. So here is my box of pink polishes that I already set aside. There might actually be like a couple of cream, like, you know, beigey cream polishes on the bottom, but obviously the majority at the top are pink here, and I'm not sure how well you can see that there's like how deep it is, but it is a pretty big box, so I just want to like kind of have it out and then go through the polishes one by one. Starting with, you know, some of these lighter ones, we have Cirque's Soleil, which I know is like more of a white base, but it does have this pinkish red shimmer. They have a few polishes like this, but you know, I just don't love this one, which is kind of weird, right? Because it is the pink version, but it's just not my favorite. This one is Le Mini Macarons Coconut Yogurt, which I thought was gonna look a little bit different. I want to say there's almost a purple undertone to this, so it's not, you know, like a pure white or beige kind of shade, but I do think it leans a little cooler than, you know, a typical light baby pink. But yeah, either way, there's just others I would rather keep. Next, I have Arosa's Blossom, which, you know, I love this color. Arosa used to be one of my favorite brands. They're no longer around, sadly, but I always loved how highly pigmented they are, you know, really lovely color selection. They really only had creams. I mean, there was like a few polishes that had a light shimmer to them, but they were mainly known for their creams, you know, being very pigmented. I love them for nail art, but yeah, just with them not being around as much, you know, they're just not a brand I reach for super often, especially since, you know, most of the colors I already have like close enough dupes for. Speaking of dupes, I feel like these next two are the closest. I mean, this definitely has really ugly bottle syndrome. This is Copo New York's Tipsy Tuesday, which I also don't know if they're around. I feel like it's looking very orange in the bottle, but yeah, like this kind of color, you know, it's more of like a corally shade. This one is Sweet Eleven's Water Melanin, which I always love the name, but yeah, unfortunately, this is just, you know, a color that I already have a lot of. So, you know, I figured I can get rid of a couple of them. For some more Arosa shades, this one is Pirouette, and this one is Vacation. So we have more of like a peachy, pink beigey color, and then the slightly more purpley toned, you know, cute colors, but again, I'm just like not really reaching for them. Ooh, this other one was another favorite. This was Arosa's Piggy Pink, which is just a cute like mid-tone pink cream, you know, it's just a classic kind of shade, but I already have it pretty much. And this one, this is Pink Lemonade. Oh, it's just so cute. It's like kind of similar to these like, you know, corally pinks, but a little bit more pink, less coral. This one did have more of a crelly formula too, which I didn't love. And this Arosa is called Desert Rose, which is kind of a medium pink, but more cooler toned than Piggy Pink, which you can see here. As you probably saw, I do also have a lot of cracked pinks that I have in here, which I know might sound crazy. Like, I do love Cracked as a brand, of course, and I do think they have a lot of great shades, but you know, some of them just weren't my favorite, right? And that's okay. These first couple of ones here are Oversized Bow, which was from the Grandma Core collection a few months ago. Cutie Patootie, which was from the Catchphrase collection. I think that was late last year, or maybe like January of this year. And this one is Hairy Squat Lobster, which has the original cap. I want to say this was even one of their very first polishes. So for these, you know, like I've mentioned before, these types of cooler toned pinks like aren't usually my favorite. I think I also compared this to Mooncat's Euphoric before, and I just would rather choose that one. Even though this does have an impeccable formula, you know, they're great, but another reason that I think I also want to destash a few more of my cracked polishes versus like Mooncat, for example, are just like, they're so, like, they're big bottles, which, you know, I love in a sense, right? Because we love a big bottle. We love getting the most bang for your buck. But when it comes to my storage space, right? Like my cracked drawer just fills up way faster than my Mooncat drawer, for example. So, you know, when it comes to a cream, I definitely would prefer just having a smaller sized bottle. And for Cutie Patootie, I ended up picking up, what was it called? Home by 9, which I think was either a polish pickup or, you know, Hella Handmade shade, and that one was a little bit more pink, so I just like that one more. I think of the three, Hairy Squat Lobster is the only one that I'm feeling the most like reconsidering, I guess, because it is like a cute, you know, jelly pink base, but it also has this pink shimmer, which I think is really pretty. But at the same time, I feel like I just haven't worn it, you know? There's just other pink shimmery polishes that I end up gravitating to more. This is pretty, but I know I haven't worn it. And again, with like the storage issue, my cracked drawer just gets filled way too fast. So I would rather keep other cracked shades that I know I'm gonna be re-wearing. These next ones, which are a little bit more, I don't know if like neutral is the right word, more like peachy toned, right, than these. We have Mauve Lip Gloss, which I don't think is around anymore, Liquid Blush from the Makeup Collection, and Old Fashioned Champagne, which is one of those, you know, donut glazed finishes. I do really like, but again, the color, just not my favorite. Like there's other ones that I like more and I reach for more. And for these two, again, you know, we're back to that cream discussion that I mentioned with Oversized Bow. So there's nothing wrong with these shades, right? It's just, I have to like pick and choose. I have a couple of more pinks here. This one is Old Reliable, which is another like medium light pink sort of corelli, if I remember correctly. I don't think this was officially described as a cream, but it does build up to be like almost fully opaque. And you know, I just, like, as much as I like having some variety, I would rather just have either a sheer pink from Cracked, which I already do, or a more opaque cream. So I don't really have the room for something in between like that. And these two older ones are Kissing Cupcakes and McLovebug. Between these two, I would say the only one I really like didn't like was McLovebug. There's just something about the finish. I know it has a little bit of ugly bottle syndrome again, but yeah, just didn't, you know, it just didn't really do it for me. I think the color is cute though. It's kind of like that strawberry color that I do really like, but I just don't love the little flakies. And these last two were from the Valentine's Day collection this year. We have Cupid Mist, which is like the much darker magenta. This is basically a dupe for Island Peas Dakota, which again, like, sorry I'm not like pulling out comparisons for every single thing, but at least so you can see, you know, it is a little bit smaller. So I'm able to fit more Island Pea in a drawer versus Cracked. And, you know, color-wise, they're like basically the same. Like maybe the shimmer particle's a little bit smaller in Cracked. Don't feel the need to keep both. And You're Doing Amazing, Sweetie, I think is actually a magnetic. Okay, no, I think I'm just misremembering that. So it's kind of just a metallic, you know, like rose gold shade. And it's just not my favorite shade of rose gold. Oh, I also have this Cracked here, but this is not really pink. It's more beigey, admittedly. This is Do Re Mi from last year's holiday collection, which I just don't like the base color. It's just kind of one of those, it almost reminds me of Island Peas Daybreak, you know, where it's just that like almost fleshy color. I do like the shimmer in here, but yeah, I just wish it was a little different. Maybe just like more of a tanner, like brown base. though it is very accurate for being, you know, dough colored, I guess. Ooh, speaking of Island P, this next one that I have here is a Curtain Call from last year's New Year's Eve collection. I just unfortunately don't love this like particular finish from them. Well, I guess that's not entirely true because the After the Rain collection was very similar to this, but I don't know, I'm just very picky, I guess, with some of these, you know, flaky jelly polishes. Now that I am looking at it again, I'm like, you know, maybe this isn't so bad. Maybe I could rewear it, but I do mainly love the base color in this. If it had a different, you know, holographic sparkle, or even if it was just a pure jelly base, I would like it a lot more. But yeah, I'd rather save the room. Oh yeah, especially because this was in my winter drawer, which, as I mentioned before, it's getting packed, so you know, we have to take it out. Next, I have a couple of OPI shades, which I feel like in general I've been pulling out a lot of, you know, my more mainstream polishes because I just don't really reach for them as often, even though, you know, like they are still cute and pretty. This first one is Princess's Rule, which I feel like I've been on the fence about if I wanted to actually destash it because it's just such a cute, like, shimmery pink. But yeah, I just, again, don't really reach for like my mainstream shades as much, especially when it's like a specialty finish. I feel like, you know, indies just kind of do it better, but at the same time, I can't really think of an indie dupe to this. And this other one is more of a pearlescent shade. This one is called Switch to Portrait Mode, which I think was from like that weird spring NFT collection. It's, yeah, just, it's kind of like that weird color, you know, that's just not for me. Oh, this one is such an oldie from my collection. This is Kazu Melted in the Sun. I don't even know like where this is from, like what collection or anything, but yeah, it's just kind of almost like a very pinky rose gold, like shimmer metallic sort of finish. Not one I really reach for these days. Oh, here's another OPI. This one's actually another pearl, but definitely a little bit lighter and more pink. This one is called I Meta My Soulmate, which it's just cringe. Like, I know sometimes, you know, the punny names, like I can be a fan of them, but with everything going on these days, having a shade called I Meta My Soulmate, like, no thank you, you know? And here's another OPI. This one is another one that I used to really love because it's just like a bright hot pink, more of like a jelly kind of formula, as you can kind of see here, but it is also packed with a shimmer. This one was called Spring Break the Internet, which I think was one of my favorites from this like NFT collection because it was less related to the, you know, technology, obviously, like the break the internet, but you know, it wasn't as like cringe as these other shades. And yeah, like I like the color, but you know, I already have so many other pink jellies. It's a pretty shade, but you know, I don't need it anymore. And getting into some other kind of indie polishes, this first one here is Fauve's Daybreak, which is a magnetic. This one technically isn't like a true pink. It kind of has like a, I don't know, more of like a, what would you call that base color? Because it's darker, almost not, maybe taupe. It has more of a taupe base, but the shimmer, right, is very pink, and there's also blue in here. It is like a pretty shade, but I feel like the, you know, the pink and blue shimmers kind of remind me of Vapid's The Seven Ravens, which has like a more true light pink base. I just prefer that one more. Then we have these two Apocalypse shades. So as I mentioned, I think in the very like last video, this is the bottle that I had bought, I Am Become Barbie, Destroyer of Barbie Land, because I couldn't find my original bottle. It was just kind of hiding from me, as in I just misplaced it. But you know, now that I found my original, I can sell this one. And this other one was the topper from that little trio. It's called I'm Weird Barbie and So Are You. I think this one was limited edition, so I don't think you could get it anymore. But yeah, while it is like a cute, you know, pinky glitter topper. It's not one that I'm really going to reach for as often because it has like the little shoe glitters. Not that they're super packed in there. Like I had a hard time, you know, getting them out, but yeah, it's just not what I'm going to reach for. Let's see. Next I have a couple of Cirque shades. This first one is one of their Vice shades called Plastic. It's just that weird shade of purple pink that I personally don't like. This one is called Jane on Jane Street, which is one of their, you know, neutral kind of like creams, similar to like these other shades. Just it's not really as pink as I would like. I could see this one being a potential skin tone sort of color. I know it has like really ugly bottle syndrome. Okay, I guess on this side it looks a lot more pink than over here where you get more of that like yellowy color. So it's an interesting shade, but you know, just not my favorite. It kind of reminds me of like the cottagecore shades from Holo Taco that I decided to destash. Here we have a couple of Zoyas that, you know, are cute pinks, but already have something similar. This first one is Shannon, which is kind of like a medium bubblegum shade. This one is Maddie, which is just a few shades lighter. And this last one is Joni, which is the much lighter, you know, almost ivory pink shade. Here it is next to Pinky Swear and Island Peas Twirl. So these are a little bit, well, this one is definitely cooler toned. I think this one is slightly warmer. This one has a little bit more of a peachy color. So I guess technically it's closer to this, but it's just so different. And I'm not saying that to, you know, try to change my mind and keep this one, right? But yeah, Zoya is another brand, you know, similar to like OPI, where it's just like there are a few Zoyas that I still really love, but I feel like, you know, I just don't reach for the mainstream brands as often. Oh yeah, and I just checked too, these also do have the skinny brushes. I didn't have brush replacements, I guess, for all of these, so definitely another reason that I would rather keep another brand that has a better brush. I have two Deborah Lippmann shades here. This one is What Was I Made For, which I remember this one, like I was on the fence about adding it to my destash pile because I love the reference. I feel like Deborah Lippmann always uses like lyrics or, you know, like references to songs for the names of their polishes, and this one, you know, being the Billie Eilish song from like the Barbie movie, is just so pretty, but the shade of pink, you know, is just not my favorite. The other one is Ooh La La, which has a more cooler toned, you know, kind of color. So yeah, at this point I think we already know these specific shades. It's like very hit or miss for me. There are a few that I'm keeping in my collection, but I definitely don't need multiples of those. Ooh, here I have two of the LA Colors sheer jellies that I picked up over, well, actually no, I bought them like at the beginning of the year, but I didn't review them until, I want to say it was like, you know, summer. I feel like these two look so similar in the bottle. I don't remember them looking that close, but you know, you can tell that they are different shades. Rosewater on the left and Mirage on the right, but both of these are basically just really close to Island Peas Pink Slush, which is my favorite, so I'd rather just keep that one, you know. And for some other like indie brands that I have here, we have Lila Joe Lacquer, which I'm not sure is around anymore, but this one is called Aria, and it's just, you know, like a darker, like rosy kind of shade. I actually do like this one. Like, you know, looking at it, I'm like, this one maybe I would keep compared to everything else. But at the same time, I also don't really reach for like my creams as often as I used to. So even though this is a beautiful, it almost like reminds me of my lipstick color, which I just bought a new one. For anyone curious, I always use Milani's Naturally Chic number 25. Not really. Okay, this is a bit more rosy, but you know, it kind of has like this has lipstick color energy, I guess. So it is pretty, but yeah, I don't need it. This one is Loud Lacquer's Not Your Baby, which admittedly is very peachy colored, you know, like a light coral. Maybe shouldn't be in here, but you know, it is. This one is Nailtopia's She's Iconic, which again is just kind of like, you know, that cool toned pinky shade that I just don't really like. I have a couple of Morgan Taylors here. This one is Sipping on Serenity, which is kind of like a more of a dark berry color, but with like a bright pinky fuchsia shimmer. And I don't know, there's just something about this combination that I don't like. I love the base, but the shimmer is kind of like what ruins it for me. And this one, which is kind of like another corally shade, is I'm All Cheers, which, you know, like, love this color. I love, it's a perfect summer color, but I know I already have this in my collection, so I don't need these additional 4. Okay, I have a couple of more OPI shades. This first one, again, admittedly, you know, more beige, less pink, but this is Don't Bossa Nova Me Around. I feel like this is pretty much a dupe for Essie's Urban Jungle, which I already have in my collection, and like I've used that one so much more, so we can set that aside. This one is basically purple, so I'm sorry that it's in here, but it's incognito mode, which again, I think is from that NFT collection. Just rather get rid of it. Then we have Charmed, I'm Sure, which I don't remember what collection this was from, if it was like a holiday one or something, but it's like a darker berry with like, you know, a purpley pink shimmer, kind of like similar to this Morgan Taylor a little bit. And this one is Mylar Dreams, which is kind of like a holographic, you know, which is exciting to see from OPI, but I would just rather keep, you know, Holo Taco's Hot Wire Pink, for example. So we can set that aside. This one is a chunky kind of glitter from a holiday collection. This is I Pink It's Snowing. Again, like, love the base, but not a fan of these added chunky glitters. It just not my favorite. And this one I'm gonna need to revive before I list it because it is dried out. This is Pink Big, which is from the Power of Hue collection. I do remember liking this one, but it was pretty similar to Exercise Your Brights, or at least that was, you know, the other pink in that collection, and it's just like the lighter, you know, like warmer toned one, so I liked it more. Some other Deborah Lippmann that I have on the bottom row, we have another kind of purple shade. This is From Here to Eternity. It's a nice, like, I like the base color, but then this has this silver icy shimmer that I don't really love as much. I guess actually the base color is not, you know, not my favorite, but I do remember kind of liking it when I did swatch it for them. And this one is another cream, like, you know, some of these others here. And this is called Pink Cashmere. So yeah, I just don't need multiples, right? Oh, I have a few more cracked shades on the bottom. This first one though is Strawberry, or Pink Strawberry Puffs. This is a very cute shade where, like, I love how it looks in the bottle, but it's just also so incredibly sheer. So it's just, it's one of those like really sheer shimmers that kind of piss me off. And I hate to say it because it's just so, it's so cute, you know, like I wanted to love this, but I'm like, you know, kind of tempted to keep it because I'm pretty sure they discontinued this one. But yeah, I just know it's gonna piss me off, so it's not worth keeping for that. And these last couple of cracks here are, you know, more of their like neutral shades. So we have Peachy Pink and Brownie Pink, which I had mentioned, you know, were in this pile. And this one is Spill the Tea, which was one of their like newer Jelly of the Month shades. And it's, you know, kind of just a little too similar to Brownie Pink, which I already had in this pile for a reason. I feel like, you know, with these neutrals, they are just not my kind of shades. I like the much lighter, you know, pinky kind of ones, so I would rather pass these along. Then I have a lurid shade here. This is Only Fools Fail to Admire, which is like a baby, you know, cotton candy pink base that has a pink shimmer in here, which again, like, you would think I would like this, but I don't know. There's just something where like I've worn it before and I liked it, but I just like didn't love it. You know what I mean? So, and Lurid is another one where I just have like a few, and so I keep them in the same drawer as my cracked bottles, which again are square, you know, they're larger. So I really need to pick and choose, you know, which square bottles I'm going to be keeping. And at the rate that Cracked, you know, comes out with stuff, I would rather empty out what I can for, you know, new Cracked to fit in. Oh, I have another Deborah lip in here. This one is a much darker, you know, almost purpley pink. Anyway, then I have a couple more Cirque polishes. Actually, did I? Oh yeah, I have like a few that I shared already. So this first one is Georgette, which is one of their sheer shades. This one is pretty much the closest to brownie pink. I shared the comparison when I did the review for these Cracked shades. Again, very, you know, lovely sheer neutrals, but they're just not my shades, so I just don't reach for them. And this one is my bottle of Valley of the Dolls, which has faded, unfortunately. It's still like a cute color. Like, don't get me wrong, you know, but yeah, I'm just not really gonna reach for it, right? Then I have another, oof, speaking of faded, I'm pretty sure this one doesn't transition anymore. This is their Thermal La Vie en Rose, which went from, oh my god, I can't even like open my bottle. It's so, it's like shut. But yeah, it's kind of this, you know, more like purpley pink color now. But it was like a very light, you know, maybe like the shade in the warm state that transitioned to a brighter like hot pink color in the cold state. So I feel like this is sort of an in-between. I don't think this was no, this definitely was not a tri-thermal, but yeah, I don't remember it just being this color. So I feel like, you know, this is an example of a thermal dyeing in the in-between state. This one here is Cirque's Bonbon, which is very cute. It is a hot pink jelly with these gold iridescent flakies, but it's basically a dupe for Mooncat's Strangeberry, which I already have. And I mean, at this point, I almost would rather swap them because the Cirque bottle is a little bit smaller in the drawer. Even though they are in separate drawers, but it's fine. Like, yeah, at least another plus for the Mooncat is that it does have the wider brush. This one is still the skinny one, so we'll stay with that. And this last Cirque that I have here isn't really pink. It's more like that dark berry red color, but this is Delusions of Grandeur, which is, again, basically a dupe for Mooncat's Forbidden Fruit. So, you know, not pink, but it's in here. These next four are from Loud Lacquer. We have 1987, which is kind of a pink metallic shade. It's unique, you know, to my collection, but never reached for it. Then we have this hot pink called Candy Flip, which again is just, you know, a hot pink cream. I already have those. This one is a little bit more of a neon pink or like a neon coral color. This one is called Kapowski. I don't know if it's faded. I mean, like, it still looks really bright. It also has a little bit of like a jelly kind of formula too. I don't remember that fully. This was like, you know, a fun shade. Like, I remember using this and a few other of their neons and like tie-dye nail art before, but I do already just have, you know, other shades that I just reach for more often. And the last one that I have is another baby pink cream. This one is called Leia. So, you know, it's cute, but I would be like duping myself. I actually have another Starly in here. Again, maybe not pink. This is more of a super dark berry purpley kind of color with a strong purple shimmer, but this one is called Sphinx. It's pretty similar to, I was gonna say Mooncat's not forbidden fruit, pomegranate seeds, because it has like, you know, the purple shimmer, but with larger orange flakies. Like, I don't know how well you can see, but this does have a tiny orange metallic microflake. So color-wise, it kind of looks similar to that, but looking at like the base, it maybe is also a little similar to Freshly Bitten, but just like a lot darker and like cooler toned, I guess. I already love those other two Mooncat shades, so I don't really need this one, which I feel like is kind of an in-between. I do have one Noodles nail polish in here, which again is not really pink. It's more of a light purple base, but this is actually another backup bottle that I had. This is called Raindrops on Roses. I loved this Crelly so much. I still have you know, my original bottle and it's mostly full, but I just remember being so impressed with like the formula of it. It just self-leveled so beautifully, where even for, you know, a glitter Crelly, I thought it looked so nice in just one coat. I don't know, there's something so like soft and whimsical about this shade that I was compelled to buy a backup. I guess because back then too, I mean, this is really common for a lot of indies these days, that, you know, they'll do these like smaller kind of bespoke batches or collections. So, you know, they're just not going to be around forever. And I'm pretty sure I had also like missed out on other Noodles nail polishes that I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to, you know, feel like I'm losing out or something. So I bought a backup. But yeah, since I don't really wear my Crellies as often, I might as well just keep the original and pass this one along. Speaking of other oldies, this one has very ugly bottle syndrome. Love the color in this though. This is one that has been in my Destash pile where it's like, I'll put it there, but then I'm like, ah, oh, no, should I take it out? Because I love the color, but I just don't end up reaching for it. This is now known as Bluebird Lacquer, but back then it was called Lou It Yourself. The shade is called Wooling It Over. I think it's just such a beautiful like berry shade. Honestly, kind of similar maybe to this Deborah Lippmann, but it's a bit warmer toned. Also maybe just like a bit darker too. And actually, here it is next to Olive Ab's Magi or Magi. Again, I'm forgetting how to pronounce it. This one is even darker, so, you know, so this does have a little bit of a brighter or just lighter color to it. So, you know, I'm not gonna be missing out completely on the color, but because these are creams and, you know, just like the sizes and stuff, I just should commit to getting rid of this one. So speaking of Olive Ab, I do have a polish in here, which again is not pink, I'm sorry, but this is Venetian, which is more of a dark berry red. It's a nice color, but you know, just not one of my favorites. They've also done a couple of these like berry red shades, and I just, you know, like some of those other ones more. I have 2 Prism shades, which again, this one is more like red. This is Rita, which is a metallic. Kind of reminds me of Island Peas Penny, for example. So I'd rather just keep that one since I've already used it more. And this one is Maryland, which I do like a little bit more. It has this like dark, hot pink magenta kind of base color with this purpley shimmer. Again, not too dissimilar to, I mean, here's the Morgan Taylor, but that's, you know, it's different. It's like more of a muted base. Like I love that this is more saturated. Here's the OPI, but that one's a bit more purple. I guess these would be the most similar ones. So, you know, I do like that this is a bit more of a reddish color, but it's also a specific shimmer finish or just color combination that I don't really reach for super often, you know? I have another LA Colors here. This is another baby pink. This one is called Rose Quartz, which I think has, you know, kind of like a Crelly formula. It's not bad by any means, but you know, with how large my collection is, I can pass this one along. Other light baby pinks I have are What's Up Nails Vanilla Peach, which I guess, yeah, is more, you know, slightly more peachy. And this one is Serum No. 5's Quartz, which is another, you know, very light baby pink, even lighter than Joni. I do, you know, I'm not gonna lie, like I love, you know, seeing some of these, right? Just like the subtle nuance in their undertones. A part of me, you know, wants to just keep them all, but I realistically just cannot do that. So I'm just gonna try to enjoy, you know, the ones that I do have in my collection and not miss out too much on what I have to let go of. Then here I have Static Nails Bend and Snap, which was also from that Legally Blonde collab that they did. And it's, you know, it's like a nice like white pearly shade. Honestly, it kind of reminds me a lot of Baker's Dozen from Cracked, but yeah, it's a little bit more of like a lighter peachy sort of tone. So, you know, it's kind of like, oh yeah, like looking at it at this angle, kind of really similar to my skin tone, but you know, with this very icy shimmer. Linry, if you're watching, I don't know if you would consider this one of your like skin tone type of polishes, but I would be more than happy to send it to you. These 2 creams here are Ella Mila's Sweet Tart, which is, you know, like a little mini bottle it's very cute, but I do not support Elamila anymore. And it's also just a color that's like kind of similar to these other, you know, hot pinks. Maybe Olive F. Slater is probably the closest to this one. And this one is Fresh Paints Emma, which I bought from like Five Below so long ago. Over 10 years ago, I'm pretty sure. It's like, you know, a nice like classic color, but I just don't really wear it that often. I don't really wear this ever. I probably just wore it the first time that I got it, and then it just sat in my drawer because I'm like, oh, well, surely, you know, I'm gonna reach for this classic shade. No. Here I have Penelope Luz's Hush Hush from either Polish Pickup or Hella Handmade. Sometimes I just can't remember. Oh, actually, maybe. Yeah, it does say on the bottle. It's from PPU. Beautiful color, but it's just unfortunately too dark on me. At least with how I like my pinks, I just think this looks a little too dark, too bold, which is a shame because it's stunning. This one here is Picture Polish's Musical, which is kind of a crully, you know, base with this hollow glitter. A very cute kind of shade, but I would rather keep something like Island Peas Knitted being, you know, slightly warmer. So yeah, it's just the shade of pink for this one that's not my favorite. I have these two China glazes here. This one is a cream that I think possibly faded. It's called Gimme Sugar, one of their, I think that collection like was neons, right? Or maybe they were like bleached neons. So, you know, very cute color. I love it. It possibly has faded, and so with this, you know, lighter kind of color, I just don't need it. And this one is another super oldie from the Trolls World Tour collab. This one is called Pink in Poppy, and it actually has like, you know, the kind of like PR label or whatever, so I don't even know if that's the full name because some of them the name was like cut off, you know, like it can only fit so much. So it's a cute, you know, glittery, like, or not glittery, shimmery hot pink, but I have others. Okay, so I have 5 more polishes to share. This first one is Mooncat's Quicksand's Embrace, which is not really, you know, pink. It's more of a neutral shade with a holographic magnetic shimmer. It's just too subtle for me, you know, just I already don't love the holographic magnetics because, you know, they just tend to fade, similar to thermals and neons and, you know, other types of finishes. From what I can see under my desk lighting, it's not really holographic, though maybe, you know, in the sun, you might be able to see a little bit more of that hollow sparkle, but just not crazy about this color. And then the last 4 that I have are from Holo Taco. So we have 2 toppers. This first one is Cosmic Unicorn Skin, which, you know, I don't know if technically it's pink, but I feel like it has a strong pink shimmer, but there's also like orange and, you know, it shifts to green and stuff in extreme angles. Just not my favorite topper from them. I like their other flaky toppers like Solar and Lunar a lot more, but yeah, this color combination, not really my favorite. And this one is Rose Gold Taco, which is basically a dupe for Island Peas Empress, which I've already had in my collection and have used, you know, a lot more, so might as well pass along this one that's newer. And these last 2, I'm sure people will be excited to see hitting my Destash page, are some limited edition colors. So we have Blush Money, which is from the Royalty collection last year. Again, love the finish, but not so much the color. This one actually reminds me a lot of, ooh, where is it? The Picture Polish shade here, where it's just like a very muted pink. Like maybe this is a little bit warmer, but it's also like a lot darker too. I feel like Holo Taco does a lot of like muted kind of pinks that, you know, usually end up not being my favorites. And this one I'm gonna quickly swatch on my pinky because this is a thermal. This is Deeply Superficial. So I want to test just to see if it's still transitioning. I'll do like a quick swipe. Okay, and yeah, it looks like it does. So that is good news. I feel like the warm state of the color isn't as light as I remember it being before, but again, this is just like a very quick swatch. Maybe it hasn't like dried down all the way or something. Oh, well, actually, yeah, it's getting way lighter. Okay, yeah, so let me, take back what I just said. So those are pretty much all of the pinks that were already in my destash pile. So that wraps up the rest of the pinks I plan to destash. As usual, I can't wait to hear what you think of some of the polishes I already had in this box. The majority I feel like were a lot of older pinks from my collection, but as you saw, there definitely were some more recent kind of releases. So, hopefully I don't like hurt anyone's feelings. Obviously, it's nothing against the actual polishes. It's just me being picky with my favorite color, right? So if I did count right, I had 88 polishes in that box. So that brings my total number destashed to 130 pinks out of 321 total, which should roughly be 40%. I feel like that is so crazy. I mean, I would have to go back and double check the rest of my videos, but from what I remember, my usual percentage or average would be around 20, maybe 25, because I think earlier on there were a couple of colors that would reach 30%, but a lot more recently it would be like 20, 25, maybe even closer to 15 for some of them. So it's been like, a little all over the place. So I can't wait to hear what you think of that too. And like I mentioned in previous videos, I do still have a couple of other colors to get through. I actually am going to be going through my blacks and grays on Halloween because I thought that would be like a perfect day to post that. And fingers crossed, in November I can do my browns, and then December I can do my whites and toppers. And of course, for anyone who did miss it in the previous videos regarding these polishes that I'm going to be destashing, I don't have any plans on when I'll be listing anything just yet, but I only have my Instagram page, which is Polished Yogi Destash. So I would just recommend following that just so you don't miss it when it does happen. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me in today's video. I hope that you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!